Hey guys, Kelade here. Welcome to my guide for Fury Warriors in patch 7.1. In this video, I'm going to go over the basics of a Fury Warrior DPS in a race setting. Currently in Legion, your goal is to get enraged as a Fury Warrior and then hit the enemy with your hardest hitting abilities while enraged. Everything in this guide will be tailored towards this goal. First, let's go over the talents. The most basic talent setup that will work for every fight is this. Take Endless Rage for more rage generation, Double Time for more mobility in fights and also raise generation if needed, Avatar for much higher single target damage and AoE burst, Bounding Stride for more mobility, and with the changes to Enrage only increasing damage taken by 20%, it is no longer necessary to take War Paint. Take Massacre so you are actually able to press Execute, because without this talent, you do not have the rage to use both Execute and Rampage. Inner Rage is very important as Raging Blow will be the biggest part of a rotation before Execute phase. Take Dragon Roar to make your battle cries even more powerful, and the cooldowns line up perfectly, with Dragon Roar being on a 25-second cooldown and Battle Cry being on a 50-second cooldown. Let's move on right into the rotation. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, your goal is to get enraged and use your hardest hitting ability, and above 20% HP, this will be Raging Blow. Your single target priority without using any additional cooldowns is this: Enraged Raging Blow, Rampage, Bloodthirst, non-enraged Raging Blow, and when you absolutely have nothing else to hit, use Furious Slash. For the opener and cooldowns, your rotation becomes this. You're going to charge in and Dragon Roar, wait for your global cooldown to finish, press a macro that includes Avatar, Battle Cry, your character's DPS ratio ability if you have one, and active trinkets. And you're going to want to instantly hit Bloodthirst. Bloodthirst can also be included in the macro. Now you have around 4 seconds to do as much DPS as you can. You're going to follow that up with Raging Blow, Odin's Fury, Bloodthirst, and Raging Blow. With 24% or higher haste, all of this can be fitted into your Dragon Roar and Battle Cry buff duration. Here is an example of this opener in action. You're going to want to charge in, Dragon's Roar, cooldowns Bloodthirst, Raging Blow, Odin's Fury, Bloodthirst, and Raging Blow again. And finally, our rotation and priority drastically changes during execute phase. When the target is sub 20%, your priority changes to the following: Enraged Execute, Massacre proc Rampage. During execute phase, you will only use Rampage if it's free from Massacre. Enraged Raging Blow, if you do not have Rage for Execute. Non-enraged Execute, non-enraged Raging Blow, and lastly Bloodthirst. Also, during execute phase, pop your cooldowns whenever they are up and follow the execute priority, and place Odin's Fury to be below Enraged Execute. And now for your artifact traits. The most important trait is Helya's Wrath. This reduces the cooldown of your battle cry by 10 seconds, allowing your battle cry to go from a 60-second cooldown to a 50-second cooldown, which makes it line up perfectly with Dragon Roar. Now to reach that talent, you want to go to the top and then all the way down to Odin's Champion, and then immediately into Helya's Wrath. Then after that, you can go straight to Juggernaut, and then eventually to Rage of the Valajar. And at this point, you will only have Blood Craze, Uncontrolled Rage, and Wild Slashes. All three of these are pretty low DPS generating traits, and you can fill them as you like. Now, for stat weights, it is more important than ever to simulate your own gear to find the stat weights that works best with what you have. But at the absolute minimum, you should be reaching 24% haste. This will allow you to fit 5 global cooldowns within the window of your battle cry. And as a general guideline, haste is our best stat, followed by mastery, and then by crit and versatility. For enchants and gems, the best neck enchant is Mark of the Hidden Satyr, the best cloak enchant is 200 strength, the best ring enchants are plus 200 haste. For gems, you will want a 200 strength in one of your socketed slots, and in rest of the slots, you're going to want 150 haste. Now, for consumables, you're going to want strength flasks, fishbowl special food, and potions of old war. There are some instances where you might want potion of pull on power, and it's generally if you're holding your cooldowns for the first 30 seconds. But for most cases, you're going to want to stick with potion of the old war if you want to do the maximum amount of DPS you can. For legendary items, The best Fury Warrior DPS item you can aim for is the Execute Ring, followed by the Helm and the Cloak. There are some cases to be made for the Whirlwind Belt in AoE fights, but generally speaking, those four are the best legendaries with the ring being on top. And that's it for my guide for Fury Warriors in 7.1. Subscribe and comment if you would like to see more. See ya!